Most people who start learning 3D never become professionals. Not because they're bad, not because they're untalented, but because they quit. In this video, I want to talk about why most 3D artists quit and how you can survive the first few years without giving up. Almost everyone starts 3D the same way. You watch game cinematics, animated films, and sci-fi scenes from feature films, and you think, I want to do this. The first few days feel like magic. You add your first cube, your first light, your first materials, even your first physics simulations, and suddenly you're creating worlds. For a while, everything feels exciting. But very soon, reality starts to hit. The first reason people quit is that progress in 3D is painfully slow. You can work for weeks, sometimes months, and still feel like you're not improving. You spend hours fixing one small problem, and at the end of the day, it still doesn't look right, no matter what you do. Then comes the comparison. You open Instagram, you open ArtStation, and suddenly you're surrounded by artists who are 10 years ahead of you. And even though you just started, you begin to feel like you're not talented enough. This is where a lot of people lose confidence and quietly stop opening Blender. Another reason people quit is money. Nobody really tells you this, but for a very long time, 3D pays almost nothing. You practice for months or even years with no income, no security, and no guarantee that it'll ever work. You just have to slowly stack up your skills and build your portfolio. And then there's the burnout. 3D is very lonely work. You sit alone in front of a computer screen for hours, sometimes days, with no feedback, no guidance, and no one to tell you if you're doing well. This is usually the moment when most people quit. I almost quit too, many times. There were long periods when nothing seemed to work. My renders were slow, my channel was growing very slowly, and financially things were very uncertain. Even right now, I'm still working towards building a stable career with 3D and YouTube. There are days I honestly don't know if this will ever work. But I kept going because I realized something very important. The people who survive in 3D are not always the ones most talented. They are just the ones who simply don't quit. They stop comparing themselves with professionals and start comparing with who they were yesterday. They fall in love with the process and not just the result, and they build their own path. That's why I started creating my own stories and my own cinematic universe instead of only chasing freelance work. If you are a 3D artist struggling right now, you're not behind. You're just in the part of the journey where most people quit. And if you're still here after everything, you're already ahead of most people. If you want to follow my journey building my own cinematic universe, like and subscribe because I share everything here. Thanks for watching, and this is Pixel Bender signing off.